Hello, we are here. It is Thursday. Oh, my feet feel so ashy. I don't know why we even like more ashier when you get out of the tub. Like, none of okay. Just no moisturizer at all. I didn't. I've been working in the garden today. If you saw my video on my personal um, Instagram, my hummingbirds have been cutting up for the last couple of days. So I was out there today and I posted a video of them fighting. Because that's what they do. They fight. But yeah, I've been working in my garden this morning. I probably, I don't know. I need to get back out there, but like I only have time to do like a little bit a day. I just have just a little bit of time. I wish I had more. I wish I could do more, but I don't. I just have a little bit of time. So I did my little hour. I raked all the grass out of my garden, all of my rocks, and pulled it up. And I burned some of it, so it is burnt up. What else? Yeah. So I was out there raking, broke the rake. Of course, I'm out there doing work. The rake them busted up. Do you hear me? Busted, dead, and gone. But no, not dead and gone, because it is a good rake. I just stuffed it back off in there. I just put it back in there, but um, yeah. So I did do that. I was very proud of that. Um, and then what else? Oh yeah, that's pretty much all for today. That all I've done so far. I'm gonna go. I called my friend's grandma. I was supposed to go over there yesterday, but I was so dirty. I had to prepare a flower bed yesterday for one of my customers, and I didn't want her to have to pay to rent the machine and stuff. So I was like, I'll just do it. So I'm out there tearing up some grass. uh, Put just taking off the top layer, getting rid of the grass and all that stuff in there. So I still got stuff to do, but I did get that part done. But I got band-aids on today. That shower last night tore me up, boy. Getting that soap off in there, woo, tore me up, tore me up. Man, um, anything else? Oh man, I seen that one of my friends lost their son in a crazy accident. So definitely shout out to the family, and I know that there are a lot of people that are surrounding them right now. So I want to give a specific shout out to you all, because I know that you are doing your job and holding that family close. And if you are not, yeah, I'm on your ass. Okay, so make sure you're taking care of your people, man. Make sure you're loving on your kiddos and stuff, because you never know. You never know. So definitely for that. What are we doing today? Today is Sex Tech Thursday, in case you didn't know. And ooh, I said I was gonna start putting. I did take it off, but I didn't put a new one on. The text of what we're gonna be talking about, so that um, yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, let's work on. Let's change it. Nope, not that. That was from something else. Um, what? What? Oh, you see how fast it went away? Stop. Okay, okay. Bupe, and then we'll move you over here so that when people pop in, they can see, they'll have an idea what we're talking about. 'Cause sometimes we get to talking about stuff and they come in and we're like, yeah, and so you got to hold the butt open. And they're like, wait a minute. What is going on? What have I walked into? So we'll give people what we're supposed to be talking about. Now, what we are talking about might be a whole different thing, but, at least they'll have an idea what we're supposed to be talking about. Uh-oh, did I do that? Okay, I probably did. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So today we are talking about data harvesting and adult toys. What is that? I'm in there touching stuff. My bad. Let's just close that because I don't even know what that is. And what was I looking for? Oh, I was looking for my outline. Okay. So today we are talking about data harvesting and adult toys. There is a shift. Well, there's always been a correlation between sex and technology. It has always existed. Wherever there was technology, there was sexuality right on the bend. So there's never been a time where the sexuality was that technology was evolving without sexuality. So with that being said, it was only a matter of time before we moved into a form of digisexuality, or as we are reliant on sexuality as of technology as a part of the sexual experience. Okay, So that has always existed. It has always been a thing. I don't want us to feel like we're talking about this new type of thing. But what Thursday is and what Sex Tech Thursday is it's an opportunity for us to be on the front lines of the research and of the change and not hearing about it on the back end, or the accessibility has been cut off for people who do not, match certain commercial aesthetics. So if you do not have the money or the the face for the case, and you know what I mean, there's a good chance that you don't know what's out there, and you don't know how to integrate that into your life in a way that's meaningful to you. And so with that happening, sexual technology takes off relatively unmonitored until it becomes out of control, right? So originally, there were some places that you were not allowed to get adult videos. You had to, it had to be legal in your state, and then you had to have access and all those things. And technology made adult videos more accessible by putting them on the internet. That is something that never could have made it there. You never know. But it was one of the things that um, wiggled its way into that niche of marketing. And so with that, now we are moving into a space where that is largely unregulated. AI and VR and AR and all of those types of things are heavily unregulated, actually, because they are so new. What does that mean for you as the consumer? Well, there's some very sensitive data that's passed between you and your toys. Your vibrator knows, your vibrator can know how fast your heart rate is. Your toys can know if you're experiencing erectile dysfunction, or lack blood flow in certain areas. It has the rhythm of your heart rate. It has your oxygen levels. So like there are different things that there's different information that can be obtained from those toys that you didn't even know that you were sharing, or that it was data to be shared. And so what does that mean for you as the consumer? Where is that data going? Who's keeping it? It's only right to wonder what where's that going as we move into this future of sexual technology. Who's getting that data? Where is that data going? And who's looking at it, right? And I don't know where other people are, but in the United States, it is data breaches. I mean, at this point, I used to be so afraid of data breaches, so afraid of data breaches. Like, when I grew up, nobody was supposed to know your social security number. No one ever. You didn't even have to, you couldn't even write your whole social security number. Like, people only asked you for the last four. Like, it was not a big deal. I mean, it was not a big deal for you not to even know what your social security number was. You just call your mom and ask for it. Like, people didn't. My mother made sure that it was important for me to know it, but there were other people who have no idea what their social security number is. They have to go look at it to see it. So it's very jarring. Someone called me one time and read my social security number off to me, and they said, "Oh, that ain't your number." I was like, "No." No, what are you talking about? But it was absolutely my social security number. And I think that's when I was just like, okay. But that data's getting out there. People have my social security number. People have you're not gonna do nothing with it. I have nothing. Baby, I am poor. You're literally not doing nothing with it. You're not getting nowhere with that information. But like there's been so many data breaches. Like I've been paid so many times from data breaches and I know from all three of the credit bureaus, some of them multiple times. Um, Target, I don't even shop at Target. I've probably shopped at Target 5 times in my whole life, and that's probably on vacation. I have not been in Target like that. It's not one by me. I'm also just not. a retail shopper like that. So I have no reason to be in there. I don't have any money, so I have no reason to be in there. So like those types of things, like you never know. But the data breaches for this type of stuff is very personal data. Okay, yeah, my social security number is personal, but like you're not gonna do nothing with it. But like, what if you were experiencing erectile dysfunction and then that data gets transferred to a company that sells that data to a third party who starts sending you ads, specified ads about erectile dysfunction all up and down your timeline? We know you need it. We saw the data. We know you need it. I saw what your edges look like. Maybe you should try this hair growth oil, or maybe you should try this one, or maybe you should try that one. What are the psychological effects of that? Like, we are not having the big questions on what they're doing with who's getting this data, what they're doing with that data, and how it can be harmful for you. Imagine, because they're collecting the data to send you personalized ads. They're collecting the data to sell it to the appropriate network so they can bombard you with buy their thing, buy my thing, buy my thing. And just imagine what it's like that Black Mirror episode where that lady, like, he paid for his wife to stay online and then he didn't keep up the subscription, and then she started spouting out ads about like maybe you should get new shoes, or like maybe your dad is. And I'm like, all those types of things can happen. It can absolutely happen because we don't have the type of regulation to stop those types of things from happening. And again, we're talking about very intimate data. What is the psychological repercussions of someone bombarding you with hair growth oils, or with weight loss pills, or with testicular cancer resources, and they don't even know that's what you have, but just they're taking the data that they're getting and they're trying to find ways to reach out to get you to spend your money and or energy with them. Because the same way data harvesting is a thing, energy harvesting is a thing. We'll talk about that in a minute because I didn't even think about that conversation, but we are definitely gonna get into that. Because I see it running rampant. Y'all call it rage bait. But what it is it is energy harvesting for a profit. Okay? Energy harvesting for a profit. They are trying to make you emotionally invested in minuscule things. Just those little small things that run you off the rails all day. They want you to put so much energy in that, and they want you to invest. They are paying people. They are paying people to mine your energy online and call it influencing. So it is like, I don't think that we believe how big of a market this is, but data is the new gold. It absolutely is the new gold because companies are convinced that they just need to know their people better. They just need to be more in your business to be able to get more of your money, which is so crazy because me and my husband were just talking last night about, Target and all the CEO stuff and changing. And he was like, they bet not go back when they hire a black one. I was like, that's exactly what I said. But then we started talking about the CEO of Red Lobster. And do you know the main thing that man did was listen to people? He did the same thing at PF Chang's. All he did was, and that they would consider that man a DEI hire. Doing something that the people who did not look like him before him, something that they couldn't do, but they would call that man a DEI hire. And so if you just listen to people, you don't have to do all that stuff. Like, you can make a really good product if you just ask people what kind of product do they like. You don't have to steal their data and you don't have to do all that. But again, we are built in a commercialism society, and that commercialism society says we do what we can, not what we should. we do what we can. What is it within the law of us to be able to do? That's the way our companies move when it comes to us, when it comes to the consumer. Just, how far can we push it? Can we say that? I know we probably shouldn't, but can we? And so you just, it creates an environment where people just do the most even when they know that this morally is probably not the best thing. Like, we probably shouldn't be doing this, but that need to obtain is larger than, the moral compass, I would say. So, so what does that actually, like, what kind of toy specifically are we talking about that is going to be providing data that we need to be worried about? Well, any kind of AI powered anything, because AI is being molded into the framework of a lot of programs now. And so those types of frameworks will absolutely collect your data. They will share it. They will make sure no one else can get to it. But you're talking about like AI powered vibrators and interactive stroking devices. So those devices that you put your meat in and it does, yeah, those two. It knows your body. It can read skin temperature. It can, it's all kind of data that comes back from that, especially if you pick one that is supposed that you're sharing with a partner. Say you pick a long distance Bluetooth toy or a long distance, interactive toy set. It is collecting data that when you are both using it to relay to those devices different times that you're moving, different stroke patterns, different this, different that, and it's syncing that together. But that data is being collected while all that's happening during your most intimate moments with your partner that you are experiencing. They are pulling data from those interactions. So it's important that we are having this conversation, because in this line of work, we're very reactive. We're very, very reactive. Instead of proactive, we're very reactive. And so it's not going to matter until it's already done a lot of damage. So if you can just get yourself out and ahead of it, please do that, if that's a possibility. You also have to think about if you are creating relationships with virtual partners or augmented partners or AI partners. Those partners have been fed your data to be able to be more compatible with you. So that data that you have customized your virtual reality partner with is data that someone may be using to profile you, or may be selling to someone so that they can profile you and figure out what kind of data you need. So when you're creating these relationships and you're dropping off your kinks onto these AI partners or these virtual reality partners, all those kinks are being stored in a database and are likely being sold. So that's a very open part of this jump into the future that we're doing. It's a little too wide open because, again, there's many ways to exploit this type of space and exploit this type of data harvesting. And we will specifically in the time of these low birth rates. And so I remember deleting the Flow app from my phone at the beginning of the pandemic when they were talking about when it first started, right? And so I was, of course, an avid Flow app. I need to know when my stuff is coming. I need to know when I'm ovulating. I need to know. But knowing that they were turning data over, I couldn't risk it, and I was not going to. I'm not going to risk that. And so being able to have control over my data and have control over when my cycle is coming. And if you've ever tried to get health care and you have female reproductive parts, you know that it is so difficult to do anything that doesn't require you taking a pregnancy test and them asking you when your last period was. And sometimes that stuff is important, but now that doctors and nurses are able to deny care based on their religious beliefs, or if they want to care for you or not, they can decide if you live or die based on what they believe, not based on the money that we're paying to keep them. Like, those workers are not being paid with dollars that are, I mean, it is, we have commercialized healthcare a lot, but it's supposed to be a pot that we're all putting in that everyone's using, but that's not what's happening. We're putting that money in the pot and they're taking the money out and living good lives and then denying the coverages. And so you could be in a situation where you're going into the hospital because you got into a car accident and, you think something might be wrong, and they're like, okay, but are you pregnant? When did you have your last period? Well, we have to do your pregnancy test before we can do anything, because our data here says that you might be ovulating, and we don't want to do anything that would mess up that process. There, the the data is very unregulated, and so it is going to be really difficult to claw that back from where we are right now. Uh, I don't even know if we can claw it back, honestly, from where we are, because we have a administration that is anti-family and anti-child, which, I mean, I guess, he's been married a whole bunch of times, so of course he doesn't care about like sticking it out and having a family. Like, he's had a shit ton of wives, so and has never cared about how childhood has affected anyone else, or motherhood, or any of that. So yeah, I guess we are, but like, that's so sad, such a sad existence that's where we are. Um, okay, so let's okay, so let's talk a little bit about data breaches, and there were some data breaches. There was a data breach with WeVibe. There was a lawsuit with WeVibe, which is a large company, that they were tracking user data without consent, right? And so, again, this is some of the most sensitive data that you can provide to someone. It, and it is being commodified, and it is being sold to the highest bidder. Yeesh. And so one of the other side effects of that is someone can take that data and make deep fake corn of you, right? So we've been seeing more instances of that recently, of people saying that people are making adult videos with their likeness and images, and they're creating this deep fake adult videos and passing them off as the person. And that is such I feel like we definitely could have got on the other side of this before it got this particular or specific type of thing. I feel like we could have done a better job in preparing for that, because we knew that was happening. We knew that was going to happen. We knew that as soon as AI started to grow and you can make likenesses and images, that people were going to start putting Rihanna on top of a horse on the beach, doing all kinds of stuff. Like, we knew that people were going to do that, and we did not prepare or do anything to offset that. We are just now, there are some key states looking at, there are two states, I want to say it's California, and I don't remember what the other one is. But there were two states that were looking, I want to say it was Texas, where they were looking at what laws they have already that they can use for people who are claiming deep fakes, and, people have licensing your image, having making content with your likeness or image without your permission, and making pornographic content. And so all these types of things are, again, I really feel like we could have done a better job of preparing for this type of thing, but we didn't. So, you know, there we have. The biometric risk of that information being out. So you're talking about, toys being able to track your heart rate, being able to track your muscle contractions, being able to track your orgasm patterns, all that kind of stuff. Like, who owns that data? The user? Do you own it? Does the company own it? Or does the cloud, the cloud that the data is being stored on? Because that is usually a different place as well. So many of these companies don't have places where you can keep that much data on hand. They use this is just because I know this because my husband's an engineer, but they use different places to store that data and to hold that excess, data. And there's a lot of things that have to go around doing that. You need a space. You need a place that's going to be relatively cool, actually very, very cool. And so it's a lot to be able to harvest and maintain data. So who owns that? Who who owns the right to your orgasm patterns? Who owns the right to the the music that you like to listen to during your intimate time? Who owns the right to your vaginal contractions? Who owns the right to any of that? Whose data is that, and are you okay with it being sold to a third party? I think that's the most important part of it, because yes, the company's going to use it. Like, Pornhub uses their data to do their end of the year metrics. Now, I don't know how true none of this is because that's not my job. Okay. But there are some end of the year metrics that they go through, and they tell you, like, what are the most popular this, and what communities are watching this, and what percentage of people are enjoying this, and what percentage of people are not enjoying this, and where are the people who like this, and they just put out all this data. So they do. I don't think anyone else does that or has access to data that they put out like that. I believe that Pornhub's the only one who does that. So that's not to say that their data stays in house. I don't know that. I don't know that. What I do know is that they do give you an insight into some of the data that they collect. Okay? Did you consent to that? To them having that information and sharing it with other people? So you're also looking at the fact of what do we do to try to make this better? What are some things that we could have put in place, or some things that we can still put in place to make sure that we are providing an ethical service with the toys that we are manufacturing? And one of the important ones is decentralized pleasure apps. So you want something more like a blockchain where it's not held by one company. So right now, if you have a WeVibe toy, WeVibe is the only one that has access to that data. Um, they're proposing that we do something more like a blockchain where it's a peer-to-peer, everyone has access to the data, and everyone can use whatever they need from it, but it's not to be yours to be sold or to be moved around, right? Um, they're also looking at encrypting teledildonics, so peer-to-peer teledildonics. So that means that if you and I are in a long-distance relationship and we buy a kit where I get one piece in the kit and you get the other piece in the kit, that the data that we're sharing between those two toys only stays in between the two toys. It is not being collected and harvested and sent off somewhere that can be, used later. So it's just encrypted into the devices that are being used, and that's it. I think that's a really good idea because you make it unsafe for people to want to try those types of things if you're putting parameters of discovery around them. You don't have to do that. We don't need to do that. It is best to give people the option to want to buy the toys without like trying to do back in, and that's corporate. That is the corporate way, is to figure out what we can do with the most, not necessarily what we should do again, but what we can do. What can we get away with doing with the information that we're receiving? And so some of these changes could make a really big effect on how we on data harvesting and data sharing. Oh, I'm finna sneeze. Hold on. Ooh, excuse me. My allergies are crazy. Have I been taking my pills? No. I did yesterday, but the day before that, no. And then the day before that, maybe. So, who can you be mad at? I have no one to be mad at that I'm sneezing and ear itching and all that stuff. Um, Biometric driven pleasure AI that never leaves your device. So I like that. And then the possibility of government regulation on sex tech. Let me hold on, because I would like to really get on the bottom side of that. Um, I feel like we could ooh, oh, that was in 2022. Mate, no, I don't know. The way this administration is going, ooh, okay, hold on. Did I find something? Page not found. U.S. Office of Personal Management. Okay, it doesn't have that, but can I search? Oh, man. Hmm. Okay, okay. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, okay. I might have found something interesting. Hold on now. Okay, I'll get back to that later because that don't got nothing to do with what we got to talk about right now. Okay, okay. So, it's important to ask the questions like, is my vibrator spying on me? Is Are you out here telling my business, girl? So, I just think that it's important. It's an important conversation to have, especially as the need and the accessibility to sex tech grows. You will see different ways that that ooh, hold on, wait. Now what are we? Whoa. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Ooh, okay. Yeah, buddy, that's me. Hey, girl. Okay, okay. I have not figured out how. I don't know if I can. I need to figure out how to. Uh, I did not get to go live on my Patreon last night because I'm just thinking it's gonna be an easy process. No, I have no idea how to do that. so I don't know. Like I really don't know how to do that. So I like for hours, spent hours the other day trying to like figure it out how to live stream. And I see the button, but and even I have a Vimeo account. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Let's select the live streaming service. Oh, hold on. This don't say that I have the ability to do that. That's why I don't be liking Vimeo. I need to cancel it, but I haven't done it yet because I still got a whole bunch of videos on here. Now, hold on now. Okay. I was like, now, where is all of my, okay. I have no idea. You know me, all this stuff is new to me. Hmm. But I should be able to. Okay, let me think. I feel like I should be able to. Um. Oh, this is not my business. Let me get out of here. Okay, stop, because you're gonna push it again. Maybe that's why my. Okay, now I'm way off in business. I have no idea what's going on now. Oh, let's get out of that. Ooh, that was scary. Okay. Ooh, that was scary. Okay, so what are some things that you can do about some things that you could do to make sure that you are buying your toys from an ethical company? Um, so, I mean, that's so hard because you, again, you never know what this, um, you never know what could happen. You never know. Someone could, a regular person who's tech savvy can hack your toys. And I feel like that's such an invasion of privacy, but it is something that someone can do. So you have to make sure that you're taking some kind of precautions, that you're using a company that you have researched and that you want to make sure it doesn't have any lawsuits um, for that. And if they have that, maybe that it was something that they had not expected, and so maybe they'll make the corrections once the lawsuit takes place. But you want to make sure there's nothing ongoing, that people are not currently talking about what that company is doing with their resources. And just try to be as careful as you can. But again, this is something that you really have no control over because you don't know what they're doing with that data. You just don't. You don't know what they're doing with it. So how can you? I mean, what can you do? So just try to be as careful as you can. Um, you can always use some of the older ways that doesn't have, you just use FaceTime or no one, or whatever you need to do. Y'all can curate something together. You and your partner can curate something together or anything like that. But I do believe that in the future we will have. I hope that it gets better. I hope that. Oh, excuse me. I knew that was coming too. I'm cold. Uh, I'm not ready for the weather to change. But they said it's gonna get back to being hot, so I'll take that. But I'm not ready for the weather. Go back to the summer. I still have a few more minutes. I still have a few more minutes, and I want my minutes. So, I don't like it. I am cold right now, so I know that it's annoying. But try to do some research on the toys that you buy. um Many of the toys are, the regular toys don't have biohaptics or any of that in it, so you would just the toy that you have is all that you have. That's all it do. It don't do nothing else. So um that may still be a good option for you, is to get some stuff if you're worried about that. And if you have some, it's important to look it up anyway to see who's in trouble right now, because you might have some of those toys right now that you don't know that you're a part of that class action lawsuit. Go get your little $18. Okay. um yeah, go, because that's just what they do. They don't care about protecting your data. They just gonna pay the $14 to everybody that fills it out, and they're gonna do it again. So um um I'm not that. I'm yeah. Mhm. So okay, so let's talk about today's Thursday. We only have, of course, one more class for the week, which is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be late night with Coach Katasha. We're going to be chatting it up, hanging out, and just kind of, shooting the breeze with the mailman. I like the nighttime show. I do be tired, but I'll be tired today too. I was just yawning, so I can't. I can't say that's it. Like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, girl. So yeah. Um all right. So if that's it, I don't have nothing else for today. I will be back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to hang out and shoot the breeze with the mailman with y'all. And I will see y'all then. I'm going to go work a little bit more in my garden to go pick some of my tomatoes, because my tomato plant is still booming and bunking. Like, I'm so proud of it. Like, okay, tomatoes. Like, it's really still doing stuff. Every year I'm more and more of a farmer. I farm more and more every day. So I am looking forward to it. I will see you tomorrow.